The first time I saw him vomit money, I thought I was going mad. It was late at night, and I was walking home from my uncle's house. The village was quiet, the kind of quiet that makes your skin crawl. I was about to take a shortcut through the tall grass when I saw a man crouched near a tree. At first, I thought he was sick. His whole body shook, and his hands dug into the dirt like he was holding onto the earth itself. Then he opened his mouth. Money poured out. Crisp, new bills, more than I had ever seen in my life. I froze. My heart pounded so hard I thought it would burst. Then he gagged again, and more money spilled onto the ground. He didn't look human. His body moved in ways it shouldn't, like his bones were shifting under his skin. His eyes rolled back, and his tongue flicked out, long, thin, and forked. I wanted to run, but my legs wouldn't move. Then he turned his head toward me. I should have stayed home that night. The man was someone I knew, Mzee Juma. He was a quiet old man who always wore the same faded coat and never spoke unless someone spoke to him first. People said he was lucky, that he always had money even though no one ever saw him walking. Some said he had a secret trade in the city. Others whispered something else. Something darker. But no one had ever seen anything. Until me. I don't know how long I stood there, staring at him. His body jerked, his shoulders twisting like a snake uncoiling. Then, in one horrible moment, he began to change. His skin darkened and turned shiny, like wet scales. His arms pulled into his body, shrinking. His mouth stretched, widening, until it was too big for his face. And his eyes, those horrible, yellow eyes, locked onto mine. That was when my body remembered how to move. I turned and ran. The next morning, I couldn't keep it to myself. I told my mother. I told my uncle. They didn't believe me at first, but then my uncle's face changed. He pulled me aside and said, "You must never speak of this again." I asked him why. He didn't answer. Instead, he told me a story. Long ago, there were men who made deals with dark spirits. Spirits that lived in the deep places of the earth, in the roots of trees and the hollows of old termite mounds. These men gave up their souls for wealth, but the spirits cursed them. At night, they turned into snakes. The money they vomited was not normal money. It carried a price. Anyone who touched it, who spent it, who even looked at it too long, would die. Or worse. I asked my uncle if Mzee Juma was one of these men. He didn't answer, but his face told me everything. I tried to forget. I really did. But a few weeks later, Mzee Juma was found dead. His body was twisted like he had broken all his bones from the inside. His mouth was stretched wide open, his tongue missing. And next to him, in the dirt, was a pile of fresh money. Nobody touched it. The chief told everyone to stay inside that night. The elders said prayers. The next morning, the money was gone. Nobody asked where it went. And from that day on, nobody spoke Mzee Juma's name. But sometimes, late at night, when the village is too quiet, I still hear it. The sound of something gagging in the dark.